Hey, Mike, what do Kelly Slater and PT have in common?
I don't know. They're both world champs?
Nope, they both own Endless Summer box set.
Oh my God, rad. You guys, you can get it too. The link's in the show notes. Hey, this is Mike with the QuiverCast, brought to you by QuiverBuilder.com, an online community where you buy, sell, and surf for your next magic board. Hello, everybody. This is Mike and Lennen Kardas, right?
Yep, you got it.
And then they say it different ways?
No, just a long, boring family story. So my dad's family, they're from Poland, and our last name is Kardowski. For whatever reason, when they came here, just chopped it in half and just kept it Kardas, and been like that ever since.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the podcast in a second. Okay, that's a fascinating story. When was the family? Do you know when they got here?
Yeah, it was between World War I and II. I don't know the exact date. I think around the 30s or so, like right before the Great Depression happened. So maybe like 29 or something like that.
Okay.
Just they knew what was going to happen. They knew Germans were going to come back, and the family sent 2 kids over, and they made their fortune, stayed here, and never went back.
Rad. Did they bring anybody else over here?
They were supposed to, apparently. This is all just family stories.
No,
None of it's
awesome.
concrete.
Go.
But apparently, yeah, that was the goal. Make money in America, then bring the whole family over. Then they never kept in contact with the rest of the folks back in Europe. And I have a strange feeling that might be why they cut the name in half so they couldn't get found. Don't know for sure, though.
That's your take on it.
It's
or
weird.
Your feeling.
Exactly. It's, why else would you have cut your name in half? I mean, there's a bunch of reasons. Of course, European immigrants at the time, it wasn't easy for them to get jobs, especially if you only have the SKI at the end of your name. So maybe they did it for that, to get work. Who knows? It's lost in the family memory somewhere.
Okay, that's why I asked, because I think there's a lot of different ethnicities that moved here during that time that changed their name or shortened their name.
Yep, exactly.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you know what? Unfortunately, my dad didn't know that. I had a teacher in high school. She asked me where my last name was from. I told her Poland. She's like, wait, there's no SKI, no SKY. What? So she went on Ancestry.com and looked it up and found it all for us. Yeah, it was really cool.
Wow.
Like I said, my dad, if he knew it, he didn't remember, or he didn't care enough to talk about it. But yeah, like I said, or you know what, actually, he might have mentioned it when I was a kid. Maybe I didn't care enough to remember it. But then, like I said, seeing it on paper and just being a little bit older, I appreciate it a lot more.
Dude, that's rad. Okay, we're going to get back into surfing. But, dude, that's fascinating. I love that story.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Mike and Lennen are going to talk surfing.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so Lennen, you surfed us right now. How was it?
It was a bit bumpy. Unfortunately, the right at the pier is the only wave working, and in my opinion, that thing just gets way too crowded, way too fast. 3 people at the most. Anything over that, it's hard.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know, I'm surfing it backside. I want to give the regular footers their wave. They're stuck with this one and only wave for the next 6 months. I got plenty of lefts to surf. Did surf this morning and got some really fun ones. It was kind of a little down the beach on Northside by the bathrooms. My friend Alden calls it leftovers. I always thought that was a clever name for it.
It's actually kind of good right there, but we shouldn't tell too many people.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to get so much business for saying no, blowing up the spot.
Because the sand's it kind of pulls in.
Oh, it
so
does.
It kind of holds up, especially at higher middle tide.
Yeah, and I was watching the peak next to the pier all morning. I mean, you can't because you're just paddling against the current the whole time.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. It didn't really look that sick next to the pier. I think the right was kind of fun, but definitely left was a little lackluster. That's why I floated down, and no one was sitting over there. A couple guys would paddle out, get swept by the current, that whole deal.
But it was makeable?
Not really.
Okay.
But, I got a pump in quite a few of them, and just to travel, I'll take that nowadays.
Yeah, totally. All right, so you surfed today twice. How often do you surf? What's the norm for Lennen?
Gosh, honestly, like a year, maybe 2 years ago at this point, every single day, or almost every day. But now, kind of with COVID putting a damper on surfing, it's a little more crowded with COVID surfers nowadays. I sadly only do it twice a week, usually just days off. Yeah. But I kid you not, from about 11, 12 all the way up till 25, 26. It was almost an everyday thing. Surf before work, surf after work if I could, before classes, all that stuff. I was in surf PU for all 4 years of high school, and yeah, I definitely I got out there quite a bit.
All right, so there's a couple things I want to ask you. First off, high school surf PE, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was the coach or who's running it?
So Rich Langen was doing it.
Okay.
He did it for 3 years, freshman, sophomore, and junior. He was he was our high school surf team coach and surf PE teacher. Yeah, he was the man. And then the current teacher, Gian, I always forget his first name. He's going to be so mad at me for this.
Jesse.
Yeah, gosh, I was like, I know it's something easy.
Yeah, it's Jesse.
Yeah, he started doing it my senior year, and yeah, I mean, we were all punks. We were seniors. We didn't care. Like, I went from being that kid who paddled out at 6:30, no matter how bad it was, to the annoying senior, too cool to paddle out if it was 4 foot or under.
Yeah, so were you fighting him?
No. We just, we're dragging our feet, putting our suits on and all that stuff.
How did he put up with that?
He was, he did a good job at it. He was never a jerk about it at all.
Yeah.
I think we were the jerks now, kind of looking at it from an outside perspective.
Yeah, older perspective.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, how do you not take advantage of being able to surf before school? Like, who cares how it's like?
Yeah.
And especially, like I said,
It gets cold, though. So when Braden did, I was with the Jesse all the time. And there's days, a lot of days I skipped. And I'm like, Jesse, it's freezing, dude. But, he was like the Groms. He was paddling out.
Oh, and that's what's cool about him. Rich was at the tail end of his teaching career. It had to be really good for him to get out there. But he was Maricosta's surf team coach. So, I went from being with him in high school to then Maricosta for a few years. So it was cool having the same coach for all that time. We definitely got to know each other pretty well.
Oh, awesome.
But I was, like I said, I used to piss off all the upperclassmen. I would be out there. My dad landscapes, and he managed a few properties by the beach, and he would leave work a little bit earlier just so I could surf for an extra hour. Surf fee's only an hour, and I don't surf for an hour. I got to do at least 2.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a marathon surfer. I like, well, depending on how it is. I mean, shoot, I surf for like 45 minutes just now.
Okay. Was it worth it?
It was, yeah. It's
Okay.
always worth it getting out. I got one right on north side, got to do 2 turns. I was pretty stoked on that. And then I was actually starting on south side because I thought I saw some shoulders over there, and I probably should have been a little more patient with it. But I did get one wave that just opened up, did a nice big first turn on it. But that's about it.
Okay.
But this morning I got my fill. This was all icing for sure.
All right. So, anything else about surf PE? What was the high point there? Was there any epic days where no one's out?
Yeah, always fall, the first couple days of surf P, we would always just get those magic
combo
combos.
swills?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. October in particular, I just remember so many days just getting such fun sessions and just being like, why do I have to go to algebra or geometry, whatever class it was? Even though, shoot, my dad was really cool, and he said, if it was ever good enough, feel free to call me, and I'll call you out of school if the surf's worth it.
That's right.
I didn't take advantage of it that much, though, believe it or not.
Really?
Well, I mean, shoot, so many times to get a good day was so rare. Honestly, I took a lot of joy in pissing off all the upperclassmen. I'd be out, the guys on the beach would be like, hey, Rich, do we need to go out? It's like not even breaking, and I'd catch a wave, and well, Lennen just did a little floater, so there must be something out there. Oh, they hated me. I loved it.
Were you just stoked to go surf? Is that, were you trying to prove something, or what were you doing? What was your mindset on that?
I mean, I don't know. I just remember watching surf movies as a kid, and
All right.
McFanning, all those guys, they would talk about how they just surf day and night, and I'm not their caliber. I thought the only way to get good at surfing was to do it every single second of the day. And that was the motivation. And yeah, I love it. I mean, I've been surfing since I was, well, I guess I started when I was 8, but just at family beach days and all that stuff. I didn't start doing it year round until I was like 11. But yeah, I just love being in the water. It's nice. It's peaceful, especially if I get a solo session, especially nowadays. Those I look forward to for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about your early childhood.
Sounds good.
Okay. Your childhood. You started surfing at 8, you said, and the year around 11. Did anybody else in your family surf?
Yeah, my dad.
Okay, cool.
According to
so
him,
he understood what you were feeling.
Oh yeah,
that's why he's like, dude, I'll call you out of school.
100%. I mean, my mom surfed too.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't her like. She wasn't like out there every single day from my understanding. But
Sick.
same thing kind of what I was doing, surf during the summer. I don't think she was a winter surfer. She's a pretty tiny lady.
Okay.
And, this is 60s, 70s. There's no wetsuits back then. Or if you wore one, you were a kook.
If you had a wetsuit, it was like a dive suit, really.
Yeah.
O'Neill was, I don't know when O'Neill, anyhow, yeah.
Yeah, 52, but I don't think it caught on until way later.
Yeah.
But yeah, my dad, according to all his old friends, and he never stops it. He never forgets to tell me if he was the style king. Like,
Really?
yeah. My mom was on Facebook, and she's like, "Hey, you want to know what your dad looked like when he surfed?" And that Asher Pacey guy was out on a twin fin, and she's like, "This is literally what your dad looked like surfing."
Really?
So, it's who knows for sure. Old guys, they always like to hype things up, but I believe it. I don't know. Like every friend I've met.
But, okay, to your dad's credit, he probably was ripping. Secondly, is their cameras aren't around like they are today.
100%. No, he's got
so
like
you
two
didn't
surf
flip out your
photos.
phone and take a picture of your dad, which you could do today.
Mm-hmm. Or Surfline Rewind.
Or Surfline Rewind. Yeah, there's so many different ways to document it. It was hard back in the day.
Oh, I couldn't imagine. I mean, shoot, even when I was a kid in high school, if someone had a digital camera, it was like, whoa,
for sure.
let's go shoot. And they're like, no, it's like $1,000 camera.
Yeah.
Not taking this by the sand.
Now you can get a phone for a couple $100 and it does the same thing.
Ah, exactly.
Technology.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's talk. So family days at the beach. How's that looking?
So, of course, like most kids, started
Now,
on a
this is all
boogie board.
Oceanside, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Our beach, my dad used to play beach volleyball when I was really younger, way down on north side, like in front of those pink condos, like almost all the way to the harbor.
Yep.
So when he was doing that, me and my older brother Damien, we were just playing on boogie boards, kicking it at the beach.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a pretty normal thing.
You got competitive volleyball?
No, this was
just
all for
screwing
fun.
around?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
all just
fun,
him and his
right.
friends playing at the beach.
Okay.
And then
Now, was he going out like all sweaty and hot and catching a couple waves?
No. Unfortunately, when we were both born, and maybe a little before that, he had to give up surfing. Work kind
Okay.
of got in the way, and
Yeah,
raising
that
two
sucks.
boys.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm sure you know it. So yeah, I think that kind of hindered him. He had a really bad surf injury, surfing blacks on a single fin.
Really?
Yeah, doing
Okay.
a big backside floater, I guess. And
So your dad was a charger.
yeah,
Dude, he was going
yeah.
out of black.
Yeah, he's lived in Hawaii for. He'd come here, work for a couple months, go over there, live there, bounce back over, and just
Okay.
kind of did that a few times. But
Wow.
yeah, he did his thing for sure.
What's your dad's name?
Ed Kardas.
Ed Kardas,
I mean,
okay.
he was around 60s, 70s.
So sick.
Maybe more 70s, because I think he graduated in 69 or 71, one
Okay.
of those years.
Yep.
And then right after that, yeah, he graduated, and left Florida, came here, and been here
Rad.
ever since.
Good. Yeah, right. Okay. Love this history.
Yeah. And then, he just kind of surfed around here a bunch. I don't know. His story seemed to always change. I can't keep anything intact, but apparently he used to live at Carlsbad campgrounds, because back in the day, you paid for it once and guys never checked up on you.
So
But
sick.
I asked him about that, and he's like, "No, I never did that." And I'm like, okay, like I'm just remembering this wrong, I guess. What surfer kid wouldn't be like, wait, so you lived at a campground in front of the ocean and you didn't work? Like, that's what I want to do.
Huh. Okay. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I'm trying to break it down. Like, thought process. Like, would he change his mind so you didn't do the same thing?
Maybe, but he
I'm
he
just
was.
speculation, of course.
I mean,
It's a fascinating story. We're not even talking about you yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm a beach bum too. Like when I was a kid, because they both worked night and day. My parents left work before the sun came up and came home at sunset. So getting to and from the beach was my responsibility. And yeah, they let me ride my bike down, board in hand, and just
How far back do you live?
right here. Actually, yeah, my house is just on the other side of this hill here.
Oh, you weren't far though.
No. I mean, a couple hills I had to climb on a rusty
That's the
beach
rough
climber.
part.
Yeah, no gears on it, board in hand. Yeah, it's
Okay. You didn't get a surf rack?
no. Just they were like $100 when I was
They
a
were
kid.
$100.
Like, yeah, they're so expensive, and then setting them up was a pain in the butt. And
Are you talking about the ones with in the back?
so there was those. My
That's
sis,
what I had when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I'm way older than you.
and those just didn't really look very safe. And
It's
then
like a sail. It was a
It
sail behind your
is.
behind your bike.
yeah.
And then when you like jumped a curb, it would take the tail off.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because it would bounce down.
And that was the same thing for the bike rack. They just sit so low. Just kind of having it right up against your arm was seemed pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just summertime when school wasn't going on, I would just ride down. My neighbor Vanessa I consider her a sister. We just grew up together. Her brother, her sister. We all call each other brother and sister still to this day.
Cool.
Yeah, we would ride down together, surf Wisconsin all day. We just kick it there all day. Ride back home dead tired and repeat the process all summer long. And then school time too. Get home from school, go do that. Do it after school when it's all blown out and crummy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did that like almost every day. It was pretty cool.
Sick.
I mean, at the time, I did not like it. I was you're dead tired from surfing all day. You're lugging this board, heavy wetsuit, uphill, no gears. Yeah, it stunk most times. But now, as an adult, looking back, I was like, man, that was cool. I was committed. Like, I wanted to get out there.
Your life would have been different if you didn't do it. If you did want to do it, or you wouldn't have done it. Or were you talked into it?
No, I did it because that was the only way to get to the beach.
But you wanted to get to the beach.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to surf. My sister, Vanessa, such a good surfer. I always wanted to be as good as her and be better than her. Unfortunately, though, she chose high school sports when she got into high school.
Really?
So lame. I gave her so much. I used to talk so much smack on her, but she was a really good volleyball and water polo player. Like she was just
She's an
talented.
athlete.
Yeah, she's so talented. Everything she does, she crushes at it. But though, if she would have done what I did and kept sticking with it, because like I said, she's better. She was better than me when we were kids. I think she would have definitely done something with surfing. I think she does too, but cards were played a different way. I don't think she's
everyone
bummed
has
on
their
it.
own path.
Exactly. And I lost my surf buddy, so I was always sour about that.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But plenty of guys, kids I went to middle school with, and
So let me ask you a question. When Vanessa was out there, she's ripping the guys out of the water. How many other girls were out there?
none. No,
Right, yeah.
girl surfers back then, even now. I mean,
Do you think that could have changed her mind? I know you're thinking for her.
I'm sure.
If she had a couple of chicks with her or something?
I bet,
Or
'cause-
ladies or whatever.
Yeah, because the handful of girls who did surf back then, she was really good friends with them, and I think she still, for the most part, kind of connects with them.
Okay. Is she out of the water 100%, do you know?
No, she still gets out there.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool,
she's a
cool.
lifeguard for California state beaches. So,
Cool.
Lunch break, she's definitely surfing. But,
Nice.
you take a long enough break from surfing, it's hard to get it back. I think, but we just never surfed together. She's always down south. I'm up here.
Okay.
And a handful of times we have in the past, she's definitely got it still.
Yeah, she still rips.
Exactly. But like I think everybody else, once wintertime hits, how can you motivate yourself when it's freezing cold, your suit's soaking wet, you've got work? I don't know. She gets out there though.
Okay, all right.
I'm just a jerk and never answer my phone.
No, is that... you sleeping in a little bit? Or...
Nowadays, last like 4 weeks or so, I cannot get out of bed till 8:30. I got work at 10, and
Okay, so I'm working too early, but that south wind, you're better off to stay in and catch a little later.
100%. Yeah,
Or
because after
just
work.
skip it, actually.
Exactly. That's kind of been my mindset. Now that we have so much light in the evening, I got off at 6. That's plenty of time to surf after work.
Totally. Well, okay, yeah. So, right on. Anything else about your family life or anything? That's a fascinating surf story.
Yeah.
Surf family. So, is your dad first generation surfer?
Yeah, he was. So my grandpa, his dad, he was the first American in our side of the family. My great-grandpa, my grandpa's dad, was from Poland. He was the one who came over.
Okay.
And he was just a really good handyman, I guess. Unfortunately, he died when I was like 1 or something, so I didn't get to really know him all that great. But yeah, apparently, from what my dad said, he made these like wooden boogie board things. Like I said, he was a handyman, and they lived in Florida close to the beach, and that's kind of how my dad got into it.
Really?
Yeah.
So, did he invent that himself, you think, or he saw someone else?
I'm sure he kind of ripped it from someone else, because I know there's a lot of
ask your
things
dad
like that. Yeah, I'll see. I mean, shoot, his memory. And like I said, it seems like the stories always change every time I talk to him. He's going to hear this and he's like, what are you talking about? Everything's concrete. I'm like, yeah, okay. So that's how he got into it. Eventually worked his way into it, riding surfboards, and that's kind of how it's been for him. But I think he started when he was really young. I can't remember. I've never asked the age, but all I've known is just a really young age.
Right.
So yeah, definitely first generation surfer. Passed it on to me and my brother.
Now, has your brother still surfing?
No, he's a baseball player. No, he gave it up when we were pretty young.
Okay.
He was also a really talented baseball player too. And your summer is at.
Dude, that's the hard part.
Exactly.
Do you want to be on the beach in the sand and catching good waves, or sweating your butt off.
Exactly. And like I said, he was a talented baseball player, and I think he still is, because I think he does a little bit of slow pitch softball from time to time. Then I just loved it. Like, I'm horrible at sports. I'm actually bad at, like, everything. That's why I think I stuck with surfing. It was one of the few things I actually kind of, like, naturally knew how to do. Even though I've some sessions, I'm like, what am I doing out here?
Now we all have those.
Yeah. And plenty of ones where I'm just like, yeah, rip.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I love your story. So, how many boards do you have in your quiver?
Way too many.
Dude, I don't know if that's the correct. I don't think you can have too many.
Yeah.
Unless you run out of storage.
And I got space.
Okay, you're cool then.
Let's see.
Don't let anybody ever tell you that.
Shoot. So I'm weird. I don't get, no one hooks me up with boards. I mean, I get good deals on them, no doubt, but, I got to pay some cash for them for sure. And customs, I form a bond with them. And even when I break and buckle them, I hold on to them, just way too many good memories on them. I love busting them out and taking a look at them and just being like, oh, I remember this pressure ding, or shoot, I remember this day up north, or taking this out on south side, north side, whatever it would be. It's really cool. And then also, I just love duplicating boards. I got a guy shaping me a board he shaped for me back in 2017, I think, reshaping it, and I've had my eye on it for a while. And but operational boards, probably, let's see, I think I got like 4 right now or so.
Okay.
But I got like 20 back in my house, and most of them are buckled.
And what kind of shit? Like, are you riding just all traditional, like, short boards?
Yeah.
Are you switching it up at all?
I have one twin fin that I'll ride from time to time.
Now, what kind of, like a Mark Richards twin fin, or more like a fish, like a retro fish or something?
It's a little bit of a hybrid, honestly, because it's a squash tail, but it's a twin fin. Up front, the first half of it looks like a regular twin fin, and the back looks like a short board. Okay. But yeah, I'm not I stink at experimenting. There used to be a time where I loved riding any and every kind of board I can, but yeah, I stick to my little 5/8 and go a little bit wider, a little bit thicker from time to time. But I always have friends comment that my tails are really wide, if that kind of makes me unique. I love riding really big, flat squash tails. Helps with airs. I can't ride those jock standard 18-inch 510s.
How wide are your boards on average?
Anywhere between 20 and... Or 20, 19 and 3/8 is kind of my go-to. Okay. If I want it for a really sharp, kind of good day, I'll ride like a 19 and an 1/8 or so. But yeah, I ride them a little wider. My thickness is about 2 3/8, which is huge for a guy my size. I only weigh 150 pounds. But I love that beefiness, really thick in the middle, super, super thin rails on the side.
Okay. And then what, are you using, like, do you check the surf forecast? Do you swing by the beach and then, this is what I'm pulling out today?
Not anymore. I do check the forecast from time to time, and there was actually a time when I used to, I had what I called my bingo book of swells. Every time there was a good swell, I wrote down what direction it was, the tides that it worked good on, just all that kind of stuff.
For the board purposes, or for documenting your surf?
No, just from documenting for myself, like, to reference back at it.
I did that when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was really cool. Unfortunately, though, some jerk broke into my truck a couple years ago, had my backpack in there with that book, and they stole it. Oh, man, my heart ripped in half. When How
many years do you have invested in that thing?
It was only a year, but it was during that El Nino we had back in like 2016, 2015, 2016. So I cataloged a lot of really good swells, and yeah, I don't think I've ever cried that hard before, and I have like full tears. I'm a wimp.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, it was so bad.
That's rough.
But luckily, I memorized a lot of the really good swells and kind of what tides they've worked on, and just always gone on that. But yeah, I'm definitely the guy who lives and breathes by the tides. Like, I know which tides I like, usually dropping highs, right, tide before it bottoms out.
So, so dropping tide, coming off like a 4-foot tide? Going backwards?
No, big ones.
6 foot?
Yeah, well, I guess it depends on the swell direction. Seems like west-northwest, like a really big tide that's dropping, right from high tide to maybe an hour or two after. I could go on for days about that, but I don't know if I want to give up my secrets that easy.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough. But I'm just fascinated with that. Now, is this one particular spot you're talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much only the pier.
But, okay, when they do the dredging, especially when they're switching that time of year up, that messes everything up.
Yeah, it does. But it seems like it kind of stays a little consistent. Though
The last few years, they've totally switched the dates.
It's funny.
Because it used to always be after Easter.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why they've been doing it. And then shoot, it seemed like they gave up pretty quick this year. I was like, whoa, like I guess they're done. We look on the beach and you're like, did you guys do anything?
Yeah. Well, I mean, South Those is done.
Oh, well, I heard that they were actually doing a pretty big dredge project this year. I heard they got an extra $4 million to do it, or $3 million, and I was
probably
like,
peanuts for money.
I guess, but I thought that the project was always about $1 million. From doing the harbor all the way to the pier. It's so hard to keep track of what happens and how much where that money does go. But I was really convinced that they were going to all the way down to Buccaneer. Obviously not.
They did not. Yeah.
Well, I'm really stoked because the last time they did a really big dredge project down there, specifically at Oceanside Boulevard, they extended the beach, like 2012 or something like that, like 20 yards. It destroyed that wave for years, and it seems like it's just now getting back to it. So I'm sure the homeowners over there are kind of bummed on it, but I think the waves have been pretty fun since they stopped dredging there.
That's a hard take.
It is. Well, it's funny when they're dredging.
I'm trying to think as you're explaining this.
Well, so when they're actually dredging, that wave's incredible. But once they're done and the beach is extended and there's a huge, it's super deep water and all of a sudden it hits a wall of sand, I don't know. It just didn't seem like it broke the same. But and you'd think more sand would be good for that break, but I don't know. Maybe in the last like 3 or 4 years, it's gotten better. But that wave's so finicky. I always tell folks who are new to the area or even friends, it's like if you see it, from Wisconsin or shoot, probably a little bit south from Tyson all the way to Oceanside Boulevard. If you see it good, either you need to suit up quick or count your luck because it's going to change instantly.
Oh yeah,
you get like an hour at that wave if you're lucky. And if you're out there when it's doing its thing, be stoked and take every advantage you can.
So you're an Oceanside guy. You had how many years surfing in Oceanside? How many years under your belt?
Like I said, I've been surfing since I was like 11, 29 now. So whatever that math is, like what, 16, 17 years.
Okay. But you got some trips. So,
yeah.
Okay, so we've kind of broken down Oceanside, how it breaks, beach break, ties. You got it wired. So you went on some trips. So how is it comparable to leaving Oceanside and going, dude, I'm on Bali?
Yeah.
Were you tripping? Was it rough? Was it scary? Tell us about it.
So when I first got there, me and my friend Marcus, he kind of got me to go over there with him.
Okay, why did he want you to go?
Just needed someone to go, and he worked across the street from me. We talked about it a bunch, and I was like, yeah, I want to go over there, but I've never traveled really too much by myself, or at least not internationally. I don't know how gung-ho I am to go to a whole nother country by myself. And he's like, oh, dude, I'll go with you.
So you kind of told him to go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. But he did everything. He got his hotels. He got his car rides. He made
team
sure
effort.
Yeah. Oh no. It was all him. He made sure I didn't die. I did the surfing. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did he surf?
Yeah. Oh
okay.
yeah.
Right. Sorry
it was
to interrupt.
No. He's it was a little challenging for him, of course. That's a hard wave to surf. Bali's definitely not forgiving.
Okay, so let's go back to how you got to Bali.
So yeah, we get there. We were staying really close to Uluwatu because why not?
Yeah.
We get there and I'm looking at
And you're a goofy foot.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You're dream wave.
Well, shoot, Derek and Zach. Gosh, I've just heard them so many times talk about it, and I was like, well, shoot, these guys rip. They're probably ripped because they go there.
Yeah,
I need to get myself.
It doesn't
over.
hurt for sure.
And then my buddy Korak. I remember he went there. I can't remember what year it was, but we're of the same age, and I've always kind of seen us as rivals because he's a lot better than me, and I've always wanted to be better than him.
Okay.
And he went there first, and when he came back, his surfing just 100% changed, and I was like,
nice.
whoa. But I remember seeing him post about it first, and I was like, whoa, I need to get over there now. It took a few years because I was still going to school when he went over. But yeah, I probably should have done that trip 10 years before. But yeah, it was funny. My first experience there, Well, I always forget all the peaks names, but we were either looking at lower Uluwatu or maybe upper Uluwatu, and it's just really shouldery there. And I was like, oh man, we trekked it all the way over here for some shoulders. Like, what is this? We surfed there, and then I looked down the beach, and I was like, man, I think there's like a really sick wave down there. And I just kind of floated down. Weirdly enough, no one was surfing there. Pumped a few. It was a really fast wave, and I was like, this has to be that racetrack place they're talking about, because I was going Mach 5, and I still couldn't keep up with it. And just fell in love with it. Talked to a few guys at our hotel, bumped into Derek and Korak when I was there too.
Oh, they were there?
Yeah.
Rad.
Oh, shoot. Like, first day I saw Derek, I was walking down one set of stairs and he was going down the other. And then Korak was staying at a hotel just down the way from me. And yeah, I bumped into him at a liquor store and he's like, yeah, my hotel's right there. And I was like, oh, shoot, mine's right next to it. Yeah, it was, it's kind of cool.
Did you guys hang out?
No, because I'm the most antisocial person ever.
Okay. All right.
They've invited me a lot of times, but, I don't know. I just do my own thing. I do when I'm there is just surf my brains out. Surf, eat. And by the time night hits, I just want to pass out. I'm not a drinker either, so going to bars and clubs. I'm an old man trapped in a young man's body. Loud noises, dark places. I can't stand them. Like, bunch of drunken goofballs. Oh, bro. It's like, yeah, I'm sober. This isn't fun. But, I bump into him out in the water all the time. Derek actually showed me a couple waves over there that not too many people know about, or it's a little harder to get to. Shoot, I've always looked up to Derek and Zach and Taj for that matter. Oh, my whole life. Shoot, I remember watching all their YouTube videos when I was a kid on repeat so much.
Okay, so go back to Bali, and then I want to talk about that. So in Bali, so you're just scoring waves. How long were you there for?
First trip was a little over 3 weeks.
How many times you been?
Only twice.
Okay.
Shoot, now that...
You feeding to go again?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go.
All right, so tell us about the trips.
So first trip was really, really fun. I had a blast. Like I said, my buddy Marcus made sure I didn't die, which was super helpful.
Okay.
I went over to G-Land for a few days. Cause one of my
How
dads,
was that?
Oh, it was sick. One of my dads...
Scary?
Yeah, terrified. I went by myself because my buddy Marcus, he's not like the best surfer on the planet. Like, he just does it to have fun, like most guys.
Yeah.
So for him to go over there, that would have been like a death sentence. But one of my dad's really old surf friends, he was like, dude, if you don't go over there, I'm disowning you. You'll be totally blowing it. So that was a really good motivator, and I'm glad I went. It was fun. I definitely want to give that wave a way better try. Definitely more than just a few days, because it was a blast. And then going back to Bali, I was just like, oh, this is a cakewalk.
Really?
These waves are small.
Really? So how big was Jigland?
I don't know, like,
Big?
yeah,
Bigger?
like, I don't know, like 7 to 10 maybe. It's always hard to gauge it.
Yeah. How's it like come off that reef?
Sketch.
Like, explain that to us.
Well,
give us a breakdown if you can.
Well, like, I was a knucklehead. I was like, oh, just go surf this wave. Like, totally, like, don't know anything about it. I got this. Paddle out like low tide. And
Thinking it's like Oceanside, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, that's weird. There's like nobody out.
You didn't talk to anybody beforehand?
No.
Get like some feedback?
No, I'm pretty shy. And like I said, I'm not a big socializer too. So yeah, I went into it like head first, like a knucklehead. And yeah.
None of you guys were out in the water with
No
you.
one. There wasn't a single
shit.
person when I first paddled out.
Sorry.
I'm like, this is good. Yeah, it's all good. I was like, dang, this is kind of weird.
It sounds scary.
It was, yeah. And
I'd be frightened.
I was terrified. I'm not a big wave charger, though. It's weird. I love doing it, but I won't lie. The whole time I'm out, I'm shaking in my boots. No shame at all.
Yeah.
And I think anyone who says otherwise is just full of it,
Yeah.
or they're just adrenaline junkies, whatever it is. Then I ended up surfing it at a higher tide.
Hold on. You're out low tide. It's big. You don't know how big, though. Overhead, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How was that first wave? Like, did you sit there for a couple how long did you sit there before you decided to turn around and go?
Not too long, because like I said, no one else was out, and it was pretty
That's how
decent.
you did you make the wave?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
There's no way I got anywhere near any of the barrels that I went for, because I was just too terrified to, like, fully stall into them. So I'm like,
but you had to get your feet wet, and you did.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
I mean, shoot, the whole time you're on the wave, or at least if you're dumb and surfing it at low tide, the reef's right there. You can't not see it. So then that just motivated me more to like actually kind of make them. But it was pretty cool. It was weird. I definitely had a way different different mindset on that wave. I thought it was just a perfect barrel every time. I thought it was like kind of like chopes, but there's plenty of them that just burger out and just do big cutbacks on them.
Oh, okay.
And that's, I think, how my first wave went down. Then like a couple, I just kept sitting deeper and deeper, and then I got like a really sick one, just long, big bottom turn right into it.
Do they swing out? Like, how does that work? How does that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, it's
where they like are gonna more the ones that swing out wide are gonna line up more.
Exactly. Yeah, the ones that have a big wall to them are definitely the ones to go. But you just have, or at least I have to get out of that mindset of, just because it looks like it's going to close out, it's not. Because those are the ones that line up really good. Like, you need the one that you think is going to kill you, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's why I want a redemption. Now that I like kind of know the wave, know what tides to go on and all that stuff, yeah, I'm ready to go. But, it's next morning, surfed it at a higher tide, had way more fun.
Okay.
A couple more sessions like that. I surfed a break called Money Tree, which is a little further up the point, and that was a super fun wave. And then I can't remember what there's another, I think it's called Kongs or Cons or something.
Yeah.
Way at the top. And that's just like a big rolly wave. And that was really fun just to do some long drawn out turns and all that stuff. Kind of get my brain ready to surf bigger waves. And then I just kind of, once the tide started to rise, I just moved my way down the beach. Because once I did talk to a few of the guys who were staying there, they're like, yeah, there's like a keyhole or whatever those cuts in the reefs.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just go way up the beach and you paddle right out there and get out there, no problem. And I was like, oh man, this would have been a way better idea. But shoot, there's like a cool little like picnic area right in front of where the waves are, and I bet just all the old Aussies were just like, oh, this dork, like he's about to go get killed paddling. I paddled for the channel like way down the beach, and I definitely didn't go the right way to get out there, but I survived. It's all good. Got to learn things the hard way sometimes.
Oh, that's rad. Did anybody say anything when you came in? Like, good wave or anything?
No. They're like, dang, we were surprised you didn't die. I'm sure that was kind of the mindset. They're like, but I've just obsessed with getting solo sessions. If I don't see anyone out, yeah.
Even in the middle of nowhere, literally.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shoot, I love surfing up in Big Sur, finding my own peak. Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Oh,
all right. So hold on. Bali. Anything else about Bali? And then we'll go up to Big Sur.
I just stayed at Uluwatu the whole time I'm there.
Okay.
If it's like really big, I'll surf another break called Bingen. Because I don't know how to surf Padang. I just can't figure out the crowd.
Have you tried it?
I have quite a few times, and I just get lost in crowds, like especially really tight takeoffs. Bingen is just where all the kooks surf, so I can kind of just burn people and manage my own. Kind of when I can pick out a crowd, figure out what everyone's doing out there, and it's like a lot of beginners.
Find your little spot now.
Exactly. But Padang, everyone rips there, so
okay.
I don't know. I just sit and get lost, and then I'll go for one and get stuck behind it, and I'm just like, what am I doing out here? Or where racetracks, because it's such a long wave, there's 4 or 5 takeoff spots, and
okay.
I definitely committed a lot of time, and I definitely have a little bit more of an understanding of that wave. I know how to surf it at low tide. I love surfing at high tide, which is what seems like not a lot of people like doing. But yeah, I love that wave. I've been searching for a wave like that my whole life. You
found it. You're stoked.
Yeah.
So it's like mission accomplished, box checked.
Oh yeah, but I'm going there like every year from now on.
Oh, cool. Good for you.
Yeah, and that's how I am. Once I find a wave that I like and I get it kind of dialed, I just keep going back to the same one over and over.
Big Sur now.
Oh, that's one of my favorite spots on
the
coast.
Where you don't have to say where.
No, I mean I kind of go where all the obvious breaks are. What Pebble Beach or whatever that one.
Oh, so you're like more north, Monterey area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no, Pebble Beach is in Monterey. No, what's that? Or Sand Dollars? I can't.
Yeah, I've surfed there actually.
I love that wave.
So you walk down the stairs kind of thing?
Yeah.
And it's like a big bay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I surfed there.
Oh, I love that
Long
wave.
time ago.
Campgrounds
across the street? Like up the street.
Shoot, I didn't know there was some over there.
Yeah, like a national park. It's just literally across the street and like a block.
Oh, cool.
If there was blocks.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 trees
blocks.
over or something. But yeah, I love that break. Another spot
Beautiful.
That's why I like going there.
I've been out there with a couple guys out. Was anybody out when you were out there?
Like one dude.
Now you're surfing like right where the stairs are, kind of like to the left? Or are you going up north?
No, yeah, just a little bit off the stairs. I would assume it's north. I know the coastline's really jagged there, so I don't know if that's like east or something.
Okay, well, yeah.
But it's that way.
I'm just saying north. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm the same way. If it's up, I was going to say if it's up, it's north. If it's down, it's south. I don't really get too specific. But yeah, there. Or there's that really
Water's
big.
real clear.
It is. And then there's that big rock kind of a little bit out to sea, I guess to the south. I'll hit that quite a bit too.
Okay.
I haven't done a trip up to Big Sur in a while, though. Just I mean, the roads are always closed. Like, it's not a mudslide; it's a bridge going out. And
what about some of the other places lower, like Cambria? And
most of the
you
spots.
skipped all that.
Yeah, for some reason, I know a lot of the more northern spots. Another place called Mill Creeks. I think that's pretty far up north. That's I've
heard of it.
I was gonna say it's so random. It's just this super tiny little asphalt road.
Is that the one you go straight downhill, or
no,
what's that break called? Where there's a bridge that goes over the line?
Oh shoot!
And they surf to the right of it. Anyhow.
Gosh, what is that wave called?
And there's always guys out there.
And that's why I don't surf there. Every time I drive by it, there's always a bunch of guys out, and I try to go up there to avoid crowds. Or a bunch. There's probably like 4 people out.
Right.
That's
but for there, it's kind of crazy.
Oh, my scale for crowded is so obscure. Like, if there's 4 people out, I'm like, yeah, it's packed.
Yeah.
But I'll go surf lowers, and it makes no sense. But yeah, there, Mill Creek. Where else do I surf? Oh gosh, this one wave called Andrew Malera State Park. I think it has its own name, but I scored that place so good once.
Describe that wave.
It's a big right point that breaks off this huge rock in front of a river mouth. That's really fun, but the one time I absolutely got it firing, the beach break inside the big bay that's there, I've never seen waves break like that. Just big, perfect barrels. Like, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, and I wish I had a bigger board. I think if I had some, like a step up or something, I would have had a way better session over there. But the right was really fun, at least, and just doing, just big turns, like no barrels, nothing hollow. But I've gone there like 4 or 5 times since it's always flat. I don't know what swell it takes, but it needs a beefy one for sure. I think it's a south swell, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Because I've gone on really big wests and norths and nothing there.
It's blank.
Yeah, it's weird. But then you go down to either Mill Creek or Sand Dollar or whatever it's called. And it's huge there. I don't know. And that's just how big Sur is. You could...
There's a lot of twists and turns.
Exactly. And that's
which is super cool.
Yeah, it could be blown out at one wave. You go to another, and it's perfectly glassy. That's why I love surfing there. It's kind of unpredictable, and it's just fun. And, it's cool to be surrounded by green forests and big rocks and coves and all that stuff.
Seen any elephant seals or anything in the water?
No. Seen whales there before. Luckily, no
nice.
Sharks, though. I've definitely been vibed out of the water before. Like, you just hear a splash, like, behind you. And just like,
freaky?
Oh, man. I've bolted to the beach so many times surfing that place. My go-to spot nowadays, though, is Halama. Tarantulas. I love that wave. One of my former coworkers, he was talking about it one time, and we just kind of impulse went up there.
Nice.
We both had the same 3 days off, and we're just
campgrounds right there.
Yeah. Oh, it was so cool. Halama burger. Oh yeah, I love that thing. It was crazy. We went early December, no wind all day, nobody out. Like, the morning sessions were a bit busy, but we surfed in the evening, just us two.
Nice.
And plenty of times I've gone up there. That was back when I was recording swells still, and I got that place pretty dialed. And I've gone maybe like 4 to 6 times since, and I think only one time I've gotten it small, but it's still pretty fun.
Yeah, no. For sure. It's just vacant.
Yeah, I need to go back up there. I actually didn't get
it's
to
not
go.
far.
And so
4
that's
hours.
why. Yeah, exactly. That's why I actually stopped going to Big Sur, because I'm like, I can drive 6 to 8 hours, and hopefully I'll find some waves, or I can go to Halama. It's just always waves. It's the furthest point out in California. Point Conception's right there.
Yeah, it's right there.
So no matter what, you'll get something there. And then plus the camping's pretty convenient. Quick walk down the beach and you're good to go. But I
bring a book. That's all there is to do. Bring a book, drink beer, or if you drink beer. I don't, but
me neither. Yeah, I'm just
have
kicking
a fire
and
and
drinking water.
surf.
Exactly. But
pretty
fun.
Relaxing.
I've had quite a few friends ask me to take them up there, and I'm like, "Do you think you can survive a few days with no internet? There's no service there.
That's
it's
awesome.
No, it's so cool. I'm not a big phone person or the internet at all. I actually got an Instagram about a year ago today or so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hate social media. Facebook I kind of like, but all the other ones I don't really like.
All right, I'm going to pause you right there. What do you want to share your Instagram account or no?
Yeah. I mean,
I
don't
share it out loud.
I think it's just _Lennen Lennen. I don't post. If you follow me, I don't think you might get bored really quick. But I don't know. Whenever I do get a photo or a clip, try to post it up. Unfortunately, there's pretty long periods between all those.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Go ahead and keep going.
I was gonna say I don't know. Follow me on Facebook. I'm on there way more.
Right,
if you need to get in
Facebook.
contact me, that's probably the best way to go about it.
Okay.
Even though that's kind of 50-50.
All right. Right on. All right. Go back to anything about the tarantulas you were talking about. No internet. People just can't live that way anymore.
Yeah, I guess unfortunately not. There's plenty of folks who like taking a break from it.
I love it.
Me too. That's why I probably should go up and do a trip up there.
Clears the mind.
Oh, so much. I mean, gosh, just one trip I went up, same situation where it was just good all day long. It was windy, but it was that beautiful side wind where it looked terrible from the cliffs, but it was still glassy on the faces. And I don't think anyone's going to believe me when I say this, but I remember that session in the evening. I would go do like a big maneuver, air, grab rail reverse, whatever it was on the first section, come down, do a check turn into a barrel, come out. Like I did that.
It was just perfect.
I swear on everything I believe in, it was the most. It was the best session I've ever had in my life. The whole walk back to the campground, I'm pinching myself, slapping myself. I'm like, I must have crashed on the side of the road and died. This is heaven. No one out.
Have you been able to replicate that yet? Surfing there, getting kind of close, or was that just a epic day?
So that trip, that was like 3 or 4 days in a row. Like,
really?
I could not believe how good it was
like
there.
A machine.
Exactly. It was so cool. I loved it there, and I'm always going to go back because of that. But since that session, nothing quite like that, but really close. I think maybe surfing racetracks close, but the big thing with me is I don't know how to do airs there. Like, that wave is just so fast and powerful. I see guys do it, and I'm like, how? Yeah. I've had a few close ones, but no like stomped, never landed anything. Okay. But shoot, I'm do 3 massive turns and then hit the inside section at racetracks and get like the best barrel of your life, and then come out and possibly get another one. Like, I honestly think that those days were probably the better ones.
Okay.
Gosh, like I said, I've been looking for a wave like that my whole life. Doing turns and getting barrels, like that's all I want to do.
Are you skipping Santa Cruz? Are you doing Santa Cruz ever?
I used to go there all the time. Yeah, my dad's cousin.
Because you're right there, kind of.
Exactly.
Not Alama, but if you're up in Monterey.
Exactly.
You're right on the same bay.
Yeah, my cousin, or my dad's cousin, I think that makes him my cousin. He lives in Santa Cruz. Exactly. He lives up there. We used to go visit him, every Thanksgiving, Christmas time, either Thanksgiving break or winter break. And I surfed there plenty of times. I love steamers. I'm not really big on surfing backside, but I love steamers. That's a really fun wave. Yeah. Davenport, my cousin loves going there because it's a little bit more manageable crowd. The left to the south, or possibly
those rocks are.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh man,
I've never surfed it. I checked it.
That's a hard wave to get good too. But every time I've gone, I've got it. Actually, I had this one kid who used to work at the shop with me. He was doing he had a camera, and I dragged him up to Santa Cruz with me, and we got a lot of clips. And the first day of the trip, we went there, and that had to have been one of the most fun sessions I've had up there ever. Like, nice. And to get footage of it too, that was a dream come true. Unfortunately, never been able to duplicate something like that. Cameramen.
It's the ocean.
Yeah, no, it's more or less cameramen to get them
to document you.
Exactly. I don't know. The guys who can get guys to shoot them on a regular occasion, and their Instagrams always have content. I give them a lot of credit because I don't know, to get someone to go down and shoot is like pulling teeth. I suck at surfing, so that may or may not be part of the reason.
Yeah,
it's easy to shoot someone
good. Don't cut yourself short. You're ripping, but a lot of these guys you're talking about are pros. Yeah. They have money. Mm-hmm. We're working class here.
Exactly, and that's what kind of frustrates me about guys who shoot. It's like I have quite a few buddies who definitely have gotten clips of me for free plenty of times. But the ones that you want to have you shoot, who have all the free time in the world, and they're never down. They're like, oh, well, you fall a lot. I'm like, well, yeah, like some sessions I'm on it and other ones I'm not.
Are these guys surfers or no?
Some of them are.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't. Depends on what your definition of surfing is, I guess.
Regular surfers.
Yeah, exactly. Or I call them Faraday surfers. Like, oh, it's sunny out, I'll surf. Oh, the water's warm, I'm out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm becoming that.
Well, of course. Well, you put me too. Like, you put your time in. Yeah, why not? But
yeah, it's easier to surf when it's sunny. I'll be honest. See, the older I get, the more Hawaii sounds allure, and I want to go.
Yeah,
I want to live in board shorts and sandals the rest of my life.
Nice. Or Mex. I mean, gosh, there's a lot of guys moving down there.
I just don't know about. I'm getting older, so you got to have a good doctor.
Oh, that's true. Thing. It's true.
I think I looked into Nicaragua and stuff too.
Ooh.
Water's warm. Waves are firing, but if something really happens, I have a heart attack or something, you're pretty much screwed.
Oh yeah, you're not driving to the hospital.
If you're your age, you're good.
Exactly.
Go.
That's why I should. I don't. As weird as it sounds, I'm actually bad at surfing, not in the sense of actually surfing, but being a surfer. I'm bad at being a surfer, I should say. I don't like I'm not a big traveler.
No, you've done lots of trips.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, my big thing was always school got in the way. Anytime a friend's like, hey, let's go to Baja, and I'm like, I've got a midterm due tomorrow. Like, no, I can't go. And they're like, oh, no, just turn it in late. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. Like, I was really gung-ho on school. Like, I was president's list, 4.0s, all that stuff. So, I can't miss an essay
You're
or test.
committed to life, really.
Exactly. And then
but you didn't let it get interfere with surfing, so that's rad.
Exactly. Yeah, I could get my sessions in around here.
Yeah.
Did a couple trips up north, and yeah, it's just
that's awesome.
Things didn't line up for too many Mexico trips, but I got plenty of time. I'm only 29.
Yeah. So how did school go with you?
I should have kept going. I feel like it was just that weird phase where I did my Maricosta thing, got my associate's degrees, and I was like, I can keep going and not surf ever, or I can keep surfing and be content with what I got. And I chose that route, unfortunately.
You can still go back, though.
Exactly. Oh, of course. And now that I don't surf as much as I used to, and kind of realize I can still bring it back relatively easy. Couple waves, and I can kind of do what I normally do. I should go back. My goal was to get a master's. I mean, shoot, even a PhD was the real goal. Yeah, I loved school. I love learning, but my big drive to stop was, pre-calc, calc. They make you take these dumb math classes that have nothing to do with your major just to weed people out. And
Is that what that does?
Yeah, because I was going to school for history in a discipline no one ever heard of called sociology, and
which is what?
No one knows what this means either. It's the study of institutions. Essentially, it's how do we interact in our everyday lives? How do humans interact in a school setting, in a government setting, and you can go even smaller to how do surfers interact with one another, and broaden it out to how do Americans, how do Earthlings do it. And yeah,
sounds rad.
It's such a cool discipline. It kind of takes psychology but expands it past the individual.
Like cultural norms?
Exactly. Oh, you can study cultures, you can subcultures, entire societies. You can dive into it, and then history ties right into that, because then you can go, well, how were we doing things back in the day versus how we're doing things now? Yeah, I loved it. It's a really cool discipline. My goal was to be a researcher in it, and you just study people. It's fun.
Yeah.
Or really, now that I've kind of been with a bunch of high schoolers, even being a teacher would be fun. That when I was a kid, that was the goal, because I've never studied for a single history test. I've never not gotten an A in a history class.
Really?
I hear it once and it just sticks. It's really, really cool.
So that's your thing, though.
It is.
It fascinates you, so would you want to learn it?
Exactly. Well, shoot, to be honest.
So if you can motivate kids to do that, I think we'd have a lot smarter kids.
100%. Yeah. So all 5 years I've worked at the shop, countless kids, I've helped them on their U.S. history tests or history in general, helped them get like C's and B's and all that stuff. And putting it in a way they can understand it, not in the textbook version, seems to work pretty good for them. I mean, shoot, I'm sure I've cursed a bunch already, but I've got the mouth of a sailor. And when I'm teaching these guys, when this event happened, these a-holes were doing this shit.
Yeah. You saying it.
Oh, cool. I wasn't sure if this is a PG thing or not, but yeah.
I try to keep it PG, but a couple words here and there ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, surfers, I feel like we all curse a little bit.
Some more than others, but hey.
But why did we enter World War II? Well, we had more commitment in putting money into these assholes over here, and we saw what these dicks were doing. Yeah. And, they click with it.
And then all of a sudden it relates to them.
Exactly.
They get it.
I mean, shoot, when I was going to school too, I mean, the teachers who annoyed me were always the ones who thought they were better than everybody else. And, with teenagers, you got to put yourself at their level, because if you try to act superior to them, they're not going to respond to you, and they're not going to respect you. I've had countless teachers who are like that, and they're still my favorite teachers to this day, and that's why I should go back and teach, because you're right, more people knew about history. Hopefully we wouldn't keep repeating the same dumb mistakes we keep doing.
There you go. Those are good words, actually.
Yeah.
Talking about history, do you remember your first board?
Yeah. So it was when me and my brother were really young, my dad was trying to get back into surfing. I think kind of once we got old enough to somewhat watch ourselves, he tried to get back into it, and he was riding a burn board, really, really sick one. But this is like 90s, early 2000s standard shortboard. It's a 6'9".
Like the Tom Carroll board?
Yeah, exactly. Nice round tail, glassed in fins. That thing was so sick. And he, was just laying around in our house, and shoot, I was like probably 40 pounds when I was 11 years old. I guess between 8 and 11. And that was just a big boat for me. That's what I learned on. I love that board. I even actually rode it when I got older.
Is it still around?
No.
Bummer.
I know. My dad threw it away. He has he's no appreciation for history.
All right, go ahead.
And he's anti-clutter, and that's what it was. But, it was his board. I can't believe he threw it away. And I had so many good memories. I would love to duplicate it because it'd be a 6-step. Actually, that'd probably be a gun for me. But yeah, I rode that all the time. And if I ever broke one of my standards, because I was notorious for that, I'd have to ride that until my dad could get some cash together to get me another random used board wherever he could grab it.
Right.
But yeah, I loved that thing. I rode it till I snapped. I'm such a doofus. I was surfing the pier, surfing the left into the pier, my favorite wave. Of course, there's a jerk right in front of me, deer in the headlights, so I had to swerve around him. And when I was in high school, for whatever reason, and I honestly think this works, you couldn't wear a leash. You were not allowed to wear a leash at least I thought you weren't allowed to wear a leash at Surf P and beyond that. Like, you wore a leash, you were a kook. And the reason was you would commit to your turns. If you had to swim in, you're going to make sure you could land that turn. I have definitely a lot of people critique me on that idea, but it seemed to work. And of course, I was surfing that day without a leash, lost the board, smacked right into the pylon, snapped right in half, and yeah, sucked.
I totally agree on the leash. I haven't worn a leash in only when it's like, if it starts getting bigger, then I'll put a leash on.
Of course.
But even if it's crowded, I don't wear a leash.
Good. No, they're kook cords.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm older now. But I do swim, but that's the only exercise I'm getting really anyhow. So what the heck? Well,
that was the mindset behind it. Let's say you did fall. Well, now you swim and you're building muscle.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it at like if you're not confident.
Very true. Yep.
Move down the beach. Mm-hmm. That's the thing. I don't know with COVID though.
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of deer in headlights.
Oh, of course. And shoot, if you're still on a soft top, you're still learning, and you're
move down the beach, get out of the way of everybody.
Exactly.
And put a leash on.
Exactly, 100%. But shoot, I mean, I don't think any of these little kids who surf around here are listening to this, but if you guys are, stop wearing leashes. And that definitely means don't do airs. Like, I would full send it doing a Hail Mary air that I would never land with no leash. And, if I had to swim in for it, I had to swim in for it. But that definitely helped motivate me to land stuff. Yeah. I need to actually bring that back because I've been falling way too much lately. But the downside of that, and probably guys shouldn't do this, I'd lose my board and it hits that one random rock on the beach, and now I got a crack on my board, or I got a big pressure ding somewhere.
I can answer all that. Don't fall.
Exactly. Yep, you are right on the mark. You are completely right. So maybe I need to bring it back and quit being a baby. But
you can pick your days too.
Exactly.
They're smaller for sure, no leash.
100%.
Dude, you're free without the leash. Mine, I get in my toes.
Shoot, that happened to me today.
Did it get in your
Twice,
toes?
actually.
And it blows your way. Dude, nothing worse than you're on the way, you're like, I hate it.
And like I said, my dad was a 60s, 70s surfer. Yeah,
and there was no leashes.
Yeah,
or they had those crappy, whatever they made
bungee
at home.
cord. Yeah, exactly. Kook cords.
Leather. It had a leather strap on it with like the little, the little holes in there, and the rope came through it. So when it pull your ankle, I had this my first board was the twin fin Bing. Dude, I kept it. Looked like an ironing board. Dude, the thing was so sick. I have a picture. I'll just show you one day.
Oh, good,
dude,
good.
It's the ugliest board you've ever seen. But the leash on it was like a bungee cord with the leather thing around it. I don't know.
I've seen them. Yeah, I mean, those makeshift leashes. Yeah, gosh, I could not imagine that yanking on your ankle. I mean, shoot, even modern leashes, they can rub up against you and it hurts.
Yeah. No.
They've gotten
They're
way better.
Way better. Dude, technology just in leashes is excellent.
It's nice, but I mean, and no one believes me on this, but you are way faster without a leash. It's dragging back there. It holds you
true, too.
back. And like I said, if it's small, it's not closed out. Yeah, don't wear a leash and land your turns. Because I mean, my dad, he still to this day says I fall way too easily, and I can kind of see a couple of local kids who do that. And it's like, damn, bud, you should have committed a little bit harder. Like, land that stuff.
If they're gonna go and just do a kick out, like fake air in their backs, the back of the wave, there's no chance of landing it.
Exactly.
If they can't be centered over it, I mean, I can't do airs, by the way.
Me neither.
But
sometimes
logic tells you got to be above the board.
100%.
Or, not sideways.
Unless you're John.
Okay, so if they're doing that, someone needs to talk to them.
Exactly, but I don't know.
And maybe you're the guy.
I wish.
Come on, Lennen.
I don't know.
Start calling them out on the water.
I would like to, and some of them seem to listen to me or somewhat respect me, but I think a lot of them don't like me. I mean, I'm not nice to Groms. None of these guys who surfed around.
Okay, how's it when you're a Grom?
Oh,
do you have to get respect?
Oh, no one liked me. I'd had hair to my butt.
So you had to earn your respect.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know for sure, but it sure didn't seem like any of these guys who surf around here liked me all that much. There's a couple guys who definitely were really chill and didn't seem to mind me all that much, but I was such a jerk when I was a kid, and still kind of am. I'm a wave hog, no doubt about it, no question in my mind. But my big thought was, I was born and raised here. I rode my bike, little less than 2 miles away from here. Did it every single day. And all the guys I grew up with, they're just huffing beers, smoking weed. They're never out there, but they got pampered and all that stuff. I don't know. I think it was a bad combination of a really bad attitude and just not a really good look. Like I said, long hair back then, and I think still even now, is definitely not looked up in surfing. It's definitely not a good thing.
Who gives a shit?
I didn't.
So you're saying these other guys had entitlement kind of issues?
Yeah, probably.
So if you're burning them, oh well, tough shit.
Well, there were certain guys that definitely didn't burn. You see them call somebody out. I mean, gosh, I tell people this, and some folks believe me or don't. When I was really younger, guys were ruthless here. I've seen full-blown adults hitting young kids, backhands, full fists, punching their boards. That was Oceanside back then, though.
I think it was surfing back then. I think it was everywhere.
Oh, it was. I mean, shoot, it was even worse.
I got chased around.
Oh,
I never got caught.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine Long Beach. But, I mean, shoot, even talking to my dad, like I said, he's from Florida originally. He, folks didn't like him either for being from there. But there was a lot of local guys who ended up being nice to him and kind of made his way that way.
Yeah.
And I try to remind myself to be like that from time to time. And I've definitely made friends with a lot of guys who aren't originally from here. And I don't know. I mean, Korak's from Florida, and I love surfing with them. I don't think I've ever gotten kind of bummed when I see him out.
But you still think Oceanside pride?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I love this city. And that's why nowadays, and funny enough, now that I'm on the other side of things, I'm like, okay, now I see why these guys were jerks to me. I was a punk. And there's...
Were you just shoulder hopping them, or what were you doing?
I think, honestly, back paddling. I think that was my...
You are the kid everyone hates when you were a kid.
100%. And like I said, I was riding this big 6'9".
I love that you admitted that.
Oh, yeah. And I was riding this big 6'9". I could get anywhere in a heartbeat. But, my big thing was these old farts, they're just getting in the way, falling on waves. If you're going to waste waves, go somewhere else. And
fair enough.
And I was a dawn patroller. I take a lot of pride in being the first guy out. Maybe not so much anymore, but I don't know why, but just everyone follows me when I'm out there. Today, I'm surfing down the beach by myself. I see 4 guys on the beach, paddle out together, come right to me and just follow me all session.
Because they saw you catch a good wave. They think it's the worst thing in surfing. Surfers are assholes.
It's so dumb, but I can't believe of all the memes out there today calling out this exact behavior that surfers still do this.
Okay, can these guys surf though?
No, they're all Barneys.
That's even worse.
But when I was a kid, plenty of the older guys, funny enough, I don't really see any of these guys. I honestly don't really remember any faces, to be honest. But yeah, I don't see too many of the guys I grew up with surfing around here, which makes me think that they weren't originally from here. Just the Carlsbad, Encinitas guys who surf here because their crummy waves suck. And that's why I was ruthless. I'm like, dude, this is my home break. This is my hometown. You don't like how I surf? There's plenty of other beaches in either direction of us. Go surf somewhere else if you got a real problem with it. Yeah, so I have a pretty bad attitude. But, you talk to enough Oceanside guys, they'll tell you the exact same thing. This was a small, really tight community. Well, it's changing, of course, but yeah, earn your spot out here.
Let's talk about change. How do you feel about the change?
Oh, I hate it. That eyesore they just built, like I messaged you the other day, I can't stand that thing. And all of them, if it's not that, it's those dumb track houses just down the way from them, those cookie cutter houses that look the same that cost like $4 million. Yeah,
it's not going to change.
It's not, and I need to get out of that mindset.
Or go to city council meetings.
Yeah, exactly. But those guys, they're getting... I don't know for sure, I guess.
Money.
But exactly. I got to
And if you look at the city council, a lot of those guys aren't from here.
Exactly.
But we vote them in.
When we should probably do something about that. And there's plenty of guys who, what was his name? I should know. It's one of my mom's friends. But yeah, there's a guy who worked at Surfside. I think he's our treasurer or something. Okay. I think his first name's Zach, and I don't know why I'm spacing on his last name. Known that we've been family friends forever. He was trying to change things a lot, and I'm not sure whatever happened to him. For all I know, he's still there kind of fighting for us. And then I've got a lot of friends who are lifeguards who've moved up through the ranks, and, they're trying to fight for us too. There's plenty of city council folks who are trying to, let's make the surf area smaller. Let's take it out.
You don't want this to turn into Huntington, where it's blackballed. It's already blackballed. I mean, South Though, before you could surf a couple years ago. Now it's blackballed.
It's so lame. And there's no beach there. Who the heck's swimming there?
And then they stick you in the harbor and they give you 10 feet. Literally a South Jetty.
Same with the on South Side. But like I said, I've got a few friends who are lifeguards, and I don't know if they're pulling strings for me, but there's been some times I've surfed deep in the black ball and no one said a single word to me, and going leashless with tourists right there. Like I said, I don't know if my friends are just being super homies. Oh, well, it's funny because, when somebody comes and sits right on top of me, they bust the jet ski out or they get the truck on us and stuff. Funny enough, last year I was surfing Northside in the black ball, and this guy paddles up to me. He's like, like I just said, not a single person around, and he sits right next to me. He's like, hey man, is there a reason no one's surfing here? And I look back at him and yeah, because it's blackballed. And I was like, I guarantee you, now that you're sitting here,
you just ruined my session.
Exactly. So I go paddle to another peak. Just look on this guy's face was so classic. And sure enough, the jet ski comes. I kind of wave him over, and I point towards Northside and start paddling. And he gave me the thumbs up. And I was like, I didn't mean for you to bust out the ski. Even though, shoot, I bet they were stoked on it. Who doesn't want to rip a jet ski around?
I get paid.
Exactly. But yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, lifeguards always seem really chill to me. If I do ever annoy them, I'm really sorry. And if there is anyone listening to this and they are saying, "Oh, that's just that Lennen guy," he knows what he's doing, I really appreciate it, because to have my own,
you want to keep that going.
Exactly, to have my own natural barrier to keep other surfers out. I love that, and I think
awesome.
they think they know that to a certain degree. And, they're in the same boat as us. These guys, I went to elementary school with a lot of them, and went to high school with them. They know what's going on.
All right, I love that. All right, how do you describe your surfing? And you guys can check it out on Instagram. And let's talk about your new clip. You sent me over. That was super sick.
Actually, that's really old. Those clips are
okay.
Those are all from 2017.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't get along with cameramen all that well. If I got clips and shot half the times that I've asked some of these guys to shoot, I definitely have more than one edit at the moment. But they're like, "Oh no, you suck," or whatever. Or, well, honestly, it's probably more I have a bad attitude. I'm sure I've burned them plenty of times out in the water. But, put your dues in.
I love that you're telling it how it is. You're telling your perspective of your personality.
Yeah.
I love it.
I didn't just wake up one day like this. My whole life, I've heard plenty of older guys out in the water say this stuff. I definitely got it from them.
That's awesome.
And that was cool about listening to Zach. So I'm I heard him say some stuff. I'm like, oh, damn. I literally have the exact same mindset on that.
Cool.
And a few times that we've interacted, outside of the water, and talking about stuff like that. Because, I've told him he has the same problem. Folks always use him as their lineup. Like, oh, there's that ripper, but he won't care if I sit right on top of him. Yeah. Luckily, he just destroys it, and he can kind of surf around people. I don't know. I lose my patience way too quick, and I just go in.
All right, so I wasn't going to bring this up, but since so you're living two lives, kind of. Well, no, I'm not going to bring it up.
No. What are you going to say?
Well, it has to do with the surf shop.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, let's bring it up.
You're selling to the person you're talking shit about. Now, that's hard, but you have to make sales, and you have to do it. I mean, that's just life, right?
Exactly.
Sometimes we got to sell to the people you don't necessarily deserve it.
But
they are spending their money, so it's like, okay. How does that feel?
I mean, I've sold countless soft tops and egg shapes and all that stuff. But you know what I've always tried to do at the shop, and I know my coworkers do it too. We try to incite, tell people like, hey, like you're new to surfing. You don't need to go sit at the most crowded wave.
You don't need to go ride the peak at Northside.
Exactly.
You're going to get hurt. And you're going to hurt somebody else.
Exactly. I don't know if that's, we can't do that all the time. But a bulk of our customers are Marines, of course.
Okay.
And yeah, they honestly listen, it seems like. Weirdly enough, I never really ever see those guys out.
That's a good point. So you do give them a little advice.
I would try to.
Cool.
If they're going to listen to it or not, who knows? But shoot, me and my dad were just talking about that earlier today. Like, surf shops aren't for surfers. And I think folks need to get out of that mindset. It hasn't been like that for decades now.
Yeah.
Like, no surfers going into a shop and buying a $35 t-shirt. Or maybe they are like once in a blue moon. But, it's the Zonies and the Utahns who are keeping us in business.
That's true.
And that's on, our shop's definitely more focused on apparel and all that stuff. We have wetsuits and boards, but sadly that kind of gets put on the back burner a lot. You know it, and anyone listening to this, surfboards and wetsuits don't make a surf shop money. The sad truth behind it, which just don't even get me on that subject, especially shapers. How those guys, how they get barred, it just doesn't make any sense to me. How it costs them a fortune to make it. They don't really make a whole lot off it. It stinks, and we all need surfboards. I wish there was a better way.
Most underpaid guys ever.
Oh gosh, they kick
And
so
they
much
work
butt.
their ass
They
off.
do, yeah. Gosh, 12-hour days.
Talking about the glassers and the guys that set the fins.
It stinks, but I have my idea behind that, and I honestly think it's the bro deals that are killing things. And I know there's plenty of shapers out there who know it. You got to make a quiver for Gabriel Medina or the local Ripper. 10, 12 boards at a time. That's lost income right there.
Yeah,
like, even if they're paying a cost, then that's time taken away from you making boards for guys who are paying full price.
But that's kind of their advertisement too, though.
It is. But, I kind of wish the mindset was more, I want to buy this board at this price because he's a really good
fair price.
shaper. Exactly. Yeah. Like I said, wish it was more
I
like
doubt
that.
many of the shapers are living in mansions.
They aren't, and but they should, because we all need surfboards. Surfing revolves around surfboards, and it just stinks. But unfortunately, that's the way the cookie crumbled. Those guys, I think, make pretty good livings, but they just got to work their tails off, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, and they're working hard for sure.
Yeah.
What about exposure? Do you like exposure? You seem like the guy that's sitting on the peak by yourself. That's your goal.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love to get more.
But you wanted the camera guy with you.
100. Yeah, exactly. And it's, I think now that you put it that way, I think a lot of guys don't want to shoot me because I want to surf when it's blown out and there's nobody out, and kind of get those natural barriers. And wants to sit on a beach with the wind blowing on them and sand in their face. I've been doing a little shooting this year. I've been helping my little buddy Ryan with getting sponsors and all that stuff, and getting clips and trying to be the cameraman I never had. But yeah, I kind of see sometimes their perspective, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is kind of suck when the guy out there's like blowing it because he hit a chop and 40 waves in a row. And but yeah, I mean, shoot, if I could get more clips, I would love to. But I'm 29 now. I think that ship's kind of sailed. If somebody gets some of me,
if you can get a good wave, it's always. Dude, I don't care how old you are.
100%.
Exactly.
So stoked. Exactly. And I would love, if I could, if somebody sponsored me and some big brand was giving me a pretty decent check each month, yeah, big focus on that would be paying a cameraman to shoot on a regular occasion.
Yeah, that's the camera guy that Julian Wilson's hired. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
The real camera, like the professional guys are getting paid.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
They're working, so they deserve it. Honestly.
Yeah. One of my friends, he posted on his Instagram not too long ago, the math behind being a cameraman. You got to pay for a $1,200 computer. You got to buy a $2,000 lens, a $1,000 body, $100 tripod.
I think it's way more than you're saying.
I was gonna say, I mean, that's like the entry level stuff.
Exactly.
You want the big boy stuff. Yeah, like you said, the guy shooting Julian or whatever.
Or Gabe or whoever.
That's like $10,000 for the tripod.
Exactly. That shit is expensive.
And, I think when I was younger, I should have been a little bit more patient. I should have paid guys. But my big thing is, if you shot, I'd at least get you breakfast or something, or,
cool.
Go get you lunch. If I could kick you cash, I would. And I do.
Taylor Steele started off somewhere, right?
Exactly. But, I'm honestly not that good at shooting. I have missed a lot of Ryan's clips, and it's always barrels. So that's why I don't charge him. And that would just make me feel so bad if he was paying and I missed one of his best waves. That would tick. I honestly think I get more mad than he does because he's such a patient and good kid. Like he doesn't care at all sometimes.
What's Ryan's last name?
Risco.
Oh yeah, Risco.
Yeah, I was. I thought I saw that you liked his latest edit.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah,
you know him since a little kid.
Oh, no way!
And
Cool.
Sister.
Yeah.
Actually, the whole family.
Oh, good.
Dad surfs.
Yeah. Oh, they're. Oh, I was gonna say the whole family's super cool.
Yeah.
But Ryan, he cracks me up. I love shooting with him and hanging out with him.
Right on.
Yeah, he's a good kid, and he rips. Like every time we shoot, we get clips, no matter what. Like, gosh, he's so good, and that's why I want to help him. And there's so many kids in Oceanside right now.
Well, that's a good thing you're doing now. It's super nice.
Yeah, I didn't get that when I was a kid. Shoot, I would love to have seen myself surfing when I was in high school. I think of only a handful of times I got clips, and it was always when it was like a foot. So but then plenty of times outside of high school, blackmailing friends, dragging them down the beach with the camera and forcing them. Shoot, my really good friend Trevor Ansel, he is such a homie, and I'm such a bad friend to him. He puts up with it, but yeah, he get hurt skating or hurt doing something. He always was on the camera, like he's always trying to shoot.
That's cool.
I wish I would have delivered a few more times when we were doing that, though.
Yeah.
But no, that's just what friends do. I mean, gosh, my other friend Bryce Flores, we've traded off plenty of times where he shot me. Because we kind of all have gone through that. The big name guys aren't going to shoot us. We're not sponsored.
No,
we're not
you're
good.
a local ripper.
Yeah. And that's why I want to help Ryan. And hopefully, I mean, I don't really have the best connects at the shop, but hopefully we can get him a pretty decent sponsor in the not too distant future. That's definitely the goal.
Yeah. He's ripping, man, for sure.
But I don't know. I'm pretty content on just shooting them. Like,
I think sponsorship's different now for the last 5 years or so. It's not like every kid's on Quicksilver now.
No.
You got to work your ass off to get something.
Yeah, and what stinks is once you get there, now you've got to produce content, and that's what's a little rough.
And that's kind of almost not worth being sponsored for.
It's not.
Because the stress, especially if you're a kid, the stress put on you for that, like, that can't be good.
It's not. No. I really wish there's another way around it.
Unless you're going to go 100% pro.
But even then, and
then, the chance of making it rough.
It is.
And I'm not saying nothing against Ryan or any other young Grom out there.
No.
It is not like it used to be.
No, not even
There's
close.
no sticker. You see half the top pros don't even have stickers on their board.
I was going to say, wasn't Italo sponsorless for a while?
No, I don't think it was.
Or Aaron Barutz, or however you say that one dude's name.
I know the name you're talking about. The other guy just got dropped off Oakley.
Yep. Oh, Sebastian Zietz, I think, kind of. Or
not
is it that?
Zietz.
No, but it was one of the Brazilian guys.
Yeah. Yep. And starts with the C. Anyhow, yeah, dude, people are getting dropped left and right, and these guys are top 40 in the world.
Exactly.
30 in the world.
It stinks. Gosh.
So imagine being a Grom. I don't know. It's not like it was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Well, no. 70s, no sponsorship. 80s, every kid had a sponsor that could surf, right?
And unfortunately,
90s too, probably.
Yeah, and I came unfortunately at the tail end of that, and that's when sponsoring got changed. Like, well, why do we have a bunch of kids on our team when we can just pay one athlete?
I'll tell you what's the problem. My opinion: the surf companies are not owned by surfers anymore.
No, you're right. Exactly.
Before it was a surf industry run by surfers.
Yep.
So we need to get back to starting businesses, surfers for surfers.
Yep.
If you don't have that, then we're screwed.
You got it right there. Yeah.
My opinion, by the way.
Yeah. Shoot. Remember this one guy was telling me. He was talking to somebody who was at a Hurley meeting, and they were like, why do we pay this Rob Macchiato all this money? He doesn't compete. He doesn't do anything. Like, why is he on salary? And they're like, well, because he's like the best surfer ever. Like, and he's from around here. Like, what do you mean? Why do we pay him?
Okay, exactly.
And look at that. A guy at the almost tippy top of surfing can get knocked down, and he could lose his job just because some jerk who lives in Switzerland.
Rob worth every penny.
It is.
Dude, that guy, I mean, he's ripping harder now than he was. Anyhow.
It's so true of so many of those guys. And it stinks. Yeah. But, maybe we surfers should be like, why? Let's not be sponsored. Let's see how good someone gets.
Let's start it over.
Exactly. Yeah.
New cycle. I don't know. So if you want to, check out Quiver Builder. That's a company built by surfers.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. I had to throw that in there.
Yeah, good.
Talk about it. All right. What about posters on the wall as a kid and stuff. Did you have that?
Oh, yeah. As lame as it sounds, still got a couple up. And
that's
have
cool.
a lot saved, too.
All right. Are you
yeah.
collecting surfer magazines and stuff, too?
I did, yeah. You know, I started getting Trans World, I want to say in like 2005.
Okay.
And I threw them all away when I was a kid, or when I was older. I know, but you know what's really cool? I at least kept the ones from 2010, and I think whenever Trans World went out of business, which broke my heart because I think they were the only good surf magazine, and I don't think anyone ever comes close. I can't, honestly, I don't even get in that subject.
Yeah, so when Braden was a little girl, we'd go to Trans World in Carlsbad. They had surf movies, free beer, free food. Dude, it was epic.
Well, shoot, I was really lucky. I was down in the valley when I was a kid.
When it first was,
I used to sneak in there all the time. I'd ride my bike down there real quick and just kind of pop my head in, and someone would come say like, "Hey, what's going on, bud?" And I'd be like, "Oh my gosh," and go like run away or whatever. Sometimes I kind of wish I was a little bit more brave on certain things.
You got a favorite surfer now? Pro surfer? Are you watching pro surfing? Are you watching like just video clips and movies?
You know, even that, I'm not as good as I used to be about it.
You don't need to be good.
And then contest, you know,
over the WSL.
Yeah, just way too many rigged events. Like
Okay.
what really
Are you saying judging sucks?
It does, yeah. The straw that broke the haters' back was so when they were doing it at Margaret River and whoever was complaining
This
about
year?
sharks. No, way back in like
couple years ago?
2018.
Okay.
So then they moved it to Uluwatu at racetracks, and I was like, oh, cool. Like they're doing a contest at a wave I want to surf.
Yeah.
Julian Wilson, one of my favorite surfers, if not favorite, and Jordy Smith, you know, they are either tied for first or tied for second or something like that. They are both competing against each other. On top of the world, you get to see my two favorite surfers surfing one of my favorite waves. Jordy destroyed that heat. It was no contest at all, and they gave it to Julian. And, you know, that was back when the title race was a big thing. I think at the end of the year, it was like Julian, Gabriel, and maybe Italo in Hawaii to whoever wins that contest wins the whole thing. And you know, that's what they do. You know, it's entertainment. They need to get the guys who get more views, and I guess Jordy doesn't get
BS on that.
and it shouldn't be that way. You know, if the person's ripping, that should be enough entertainment. But you know, if you got a Red Bull sticker on your board and the other guy doesn't, you know, they're going to definitely let that guy get through.
Because Red Bull's helping out WSL? Is that what you're saying?
I'm more than positive. Yeah. Somebody's paying somebody, and it just seems weird that always the top 10 guys all ride for Red Bull. That's just an odd coincidence to me. So I don't know if there's some riggedness going on, or I'm just a skeptical loser.
No, I think you're onto something. I don't think you're the only one that said that.
Oh, I've talked to so many people about it. But yeah, I mean, if a contest is on, I can't not. I gotta watch it live. I can't do replays or rewinds. It's just, you know, and that's true of any sport. Like I don't really like football or basketball or baseball, but if somebody's got it on and it's live, I'm down to watch it.
Okay.
Because it's cool to watch them paddle battle, the strategy of where to sit in the lineup, you know, priority and all that stuff. It's fun to watch. I just don't really have the patience for it. And
yeah, but you don't want to watch 2 to 4 foot waves. You want to watch waves of consequence. You want to see pipe or
exactly.
I do. Okay, I'm speaking for myself.
No, I'm the same way too.
And I will watch 2 to 4 foot surf.
Me too.
But I'd rather see pipe like 10 foot. And I mean, waves that I wouldn't even think about paddling that on. I want to see the guy drop it, and make it, or just get hammered or whatever.
I love that too.
I want to see Tiapu just max it out. And I'm hoping, like, really, it's a death wave. You're in the wrong position. You're dead.
Those guys were brave. You know, it's even funnier to hear some of those guys who are rookies and they're like, I've never surfed here before. It cost a fortune to come to this wave. And
they're going to learn quick.
Oh, gosh, I could not imagine, like, you know, having the entire surf world watching you surf a wave the first time and it's super steep and sketchy reef. Oh,
and you have to go. If you don't go, I mean, what does that say about you?
Yeah. Oh gosh, I couldn't imagine the backlash behind that. And that's what.
But imagine the stress on if you're that guy. I mean, these are waves I can't even fathom. Honestly, I'll be honest with you.
Though I've always wanted to surf chopes, I'd love to give it a try. It looks
10
fun.
foot first day paddle out?
No way. Like I've seen it when it's like 6 foot or so, and that actually looks fun. Though I've heard that when it's smaller, it's more sketch.
I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. Short version. My buddies go there during 2001. Ooh. Right after the World Trade Center went down.
Oh.
And the airfare was cheap or something. I'm not going to say their names. They know who they are. They paddled out. It was like 4 to 6 foot, right? And they're sitting on the shoulders waiting, like trying to get used to it.
Oh, good.
And they got yelled at. I'm not gonna say the name to him. He's a famous surfer that took him out there. He's like, you just ripped them apart, dude, because they wouldn't drop in. But they said, dude, and these are good surfers. These are really good surfers. They're like, dude, it's heavier than you could ever imagine.
Oh, I'm sure. It looks like
6 foot.
it. Gosh,
Just gnarly.
That lip. I mean, gosh, it's like 3-4 feet thick. Like I don't know. Those guys who do that are brave. Like I said, either
Imagine when it's 20. It's so heavy.
And like you said, you have to surf that, or you aren't getting paid.
That's right.
I got a lot of respect for those guys.
Yeah.
But edits, on the other hand, I do really thoroughly enjoy watching those. That Globe one that just came out, the Dion Ungus one, what Dark Hollows. I love that. I mean, he's one of my favorite surfers, like, because he doesn't have...
I've seen him out at Oceanside.
Oh, no way. No.
A couple times I've seen him out.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, right on Southside.
Oh, what?
Yeah, probably like a pretty good day on Southside.
Good. That's cool.
Ripped.
Yeah.
It was a couple years ago.
Yeah, I would... He's... Because he, right when him, and that whole Globe crew was kind of blowing up, that's when I was getting into surfing. And, they don't have the most perfect squared style. He's not going to hit the section 3 times in a row the exact same way. He's going to throw an air that it's not exactly the cleanest one ever. And those are always my favorite surfers.
He's kind of an air guy, right?
He is, a big time.
So what about like Chippa?
Oh, man, when his movie Now came out back in 2010, I think that set the envelope. It was his first...
Is that the one they played? Did they play at La Paloma? I met Chippa that day, and he was a super nice guy.
Oh, cool.
He's not very tall.
Oh, really? I could see
guy.
that. It seems like air guys are always a little bit shorter.
Yeah, I like that guy.
But, he's one of my favorite surfers. And actually kind of drove me to want to get clips and edits. Because, I watched that movie, and I was like, oh, you can kind of combine art with surfing. If anyone listening to this, or if you're ever... want to watch an older movie, 2010, it was called Now. It was back when he was writing for Analog.
So that is the movie they did a lot.
Oh,
we met him that day. Me and Braden did.
Oh,
I got
cool.
a picture of him and Braden.
Nice. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, that guy's cool.
Oh, good to hear, because I don't know. Sometimes I've heard some
He's
horror
very
stories.
humble.
Oh, even better.
To us. I don't know. It was his movie premiere.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, gosh. To come all the way to California? Yeah, that would have been fun.
I think he spent a lot of time in Newport Beach.
He did, yeah. I remember it's been in that edit quite a bit, too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry.
No.
Sideways.
Gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite surfer. There's, just guys.
So you like the air, the show guys?
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'm going to say it. Zach and Derek are my favorite surfers.
Perfect.
Ever since I was a kid, like I said earlier, I've watched their YouTube videos. I still watch them as an adult, like no shame at all.
Right on.
And it pumps me up because it's cool to watch. I'm like, oh man, watch the best guys surf the home break. Like, why not? I'm about to go surf there right now.
Dude, I was so fascinated when I interviewed Zach and he was talking about the air shows and stuff. I'm like, kind of eating it up. Like, because it's totally different than my era of growing up surfing. And I don't know. Yeah, we got to get him back on here and talk some more air. Bring some of the air show guys.
Oh, that'd be cool.
That's what I'm hoping for, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that Eric McHenry guy,
that's his buddy.
Oh, he's so good,
we
too.
know that. I've known that guy. I'm not friends with him, but I'd see him at Braden with Surf the Revolt Surf Series, and he was always there.
Nice. Oh, yeah,
good.
Oh, nice.
Anyhow, little sidetrack. Hey, what's your final words there, Lennen? You got any final words?
Yeah. Oh, I've been wanting to say this one for a while. You see me out, paddle in the exact opposite direction of me. Like I said earlier, I just surf by myself, and I just want to be alone. If you're my friend, you're my homie, and you are, like, yeah, you can come surf with me, but if you kind of don't mind, give me my space and, paddle about 100 yards down the beach. And then if you think that's far enough, maybe give yourself another 10 or 20 yards just to be safe. I move around when I surf. But yeah, that's definitely my thing. And, start paying attention to the memes on the internet. Like, there's a reason we're posting these things. Like, it's really frustrating when you're sitting by yourself and some guy comes right next to you.
Oh, yes.
Especially at a beach break. There's plenty of peaks everywhere.
I love it.
I knew this one was going to be funny.
Oh, I love it. All right, man.
Oh, you know what? Let me get one more in there
go
too.
For it.
Like I said, if any of these local kids are listening to it, so many of them are excelling right now. Like, when they started, there's these goofy little teenagers. Now they're really ripping. Specifically, this kid named Braden Steele. Not Braden Steele. Yeah. Now Braden stinks. No.
Yeah,
I'm really hyped on him.
He's too old now.
No, he's got it. I think he's the same way as me. Like, he kind of surfed by himself, and he's got his days, and he doesn't have the best ones all the time. But no, Bison, gosh, sorry, Bison. I didn't mean to butcher your name like that. Bison, Ryder, their whole little crew of regular footers, those guys are really sick. Of course, Ryan, he's ripping. Like, I'm really stoked on where Oceanside Surfing is right now. And I'm really stoked there's a good crew of kids who seem like they want to excel at it.
Nice.
Yeah, and any of you guys in the industry listening to this, there's some Oceanside surfers who definitely need some help. And, if you get them some flow deals, hopefully work to a real sponsorship. I think that's definitely something that should be moved towards this new Oceanside. We should definitely help these kids get to the level of Carlsbad and Encinitas kids and San Clemente kids get.
Right
I want to see
on.
more Quicksilver and Volcom and all the other brands. I wanted them to be riding for big name brands. It would be really sick.
Yeah, that'd be so rad.
That's one I probably should have said that one instead of being a jerk.
No, I love the first one first.
I know. But
I didn't even see it coming.
yeah.
I don't know how I didn't. Awesome, man. All right, man. Thanks, Lennen.
Yeah,
Dude, this is a really fun interview. I'm stoked. Oh, by the way, we're on Buddy Todd Park up in Oceanside. The whole view. Don't come up here.
No. This is a part.
Keep your dog on a leash.
There you go. Good. I like that
All
one.
right.
I appreciate you having me.
All right. Thanks, Lennen.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, man.
I'm glad.
All right, everybody. This is Mike and Lennen. We're out of here. Toodles. Thanks, everyone, for joining us this week. If you liked the episode, hit subscribe. Give us 5 stars and leave a review. Like us on Instagram, quiver_cast. Music brought to you by Barry Snyder, Punk Rock Grandpa. You guys all have a good week, and I'll see you in the lineup. Hey, you guys, Endless Summer box set. This thing is legit. It's authentic, numbered certificate in it. It has a 5-frame film strip from the original print. You will literally own a piece of history. It has a specially minted bronze medallion. Dude, that thing's sick. Okay, there's so much more here. Go to the show notes. There's a link on there. Go check this piece of history out. This thing's rad. Seriously. Smithsonian American History Museum has it. It took 4 years of research with 3.5 in production, all hand assembled. This thing's rad. So much to this awesome box set. Remastered DVD, sharper images than the original film, but dude, this thing's so sick. Link in the show notes.